It isn't enough to feel bad. Sure, the pang of guilt may confirm the suspicion that you are in fact human and not some emotionless monster, but it does not absolve you from being a very bad, no good, and all too reckless human. At least monsters are able to plead ignorance. This, in fact, makes it far worse, that you can make a transgression, hurt a friend, commit a war crime, or drunkenly destroy a marriage, all the while knowing, perhaps not at the time of the event, but at some point, that you have done something wrong. Whether out of intention or arrogance, you now know that you've went too far. Perhaps you have even hurt someone. You may find yourself compelled to label the victim as too sensitive, or perhaps they don't understand the nuance of the situation. You see the nature of your existence manipulated by fate or destiny or the very atomic makeup of the environment within which you passively move about as the true aggressor. You are a determined being with only a smidgen of free will. These events are outside of your responsibility. You didn't know that you would act in such a way while intoxicated. You couldn't have planned for that wild animal to jump across the road. How could have you expected the entire universe to conspire towards revealing your little white lie? An explanation, however, is not always an excuse. The murderer can explain with utmost precision the physics behind their drawing of the knife. A psychiatrist can explain the psychodynamic fate that compelled the murderer to commit such a crime. Perhaps the victim really did walk into the blade of the knife. Nonetheless, you have stabbed someone. And some of us are far too comfortable in this space between excuse and explanation. You are simply a victim of yourself. Each previous act of wrongdoing merely justifies the following one. Rather than an error that was committed, the guilty party can now point to a set of behaviors, perhaps a disposition or trait that they must now work on. And each time they do something bad, they can now explain the act and excuse themselves through this heavy promise of better behavior. This is a tough spot. How does one prove to the injured party that you will be better, that you care? Words simply aren't enough. The patience required for a friend or lover to trust that the act won't be repeated, let alone the risk they now carry for looking like fools if you do in fact repeat past actions, forces you into drastic measures. We might feel compelled at the time to make leaping promises and romantic gestures. You honestly do feel bad, but will this feeling last? Will the events that brought you here not self-replicate sometime in the future? Do we truly know ourselves, and can anybody really ever change? Can you live with yourself? This is life, the overcoming of oneself, the final actor in a lineage of fate that nonetheless reverses course and decides to be better. Hurt people hurt people, a statement often taken as a matter of fact, is only as true as we decide to make it. Few of us truly roam the earth desiring to harm others, but many of us do hurt others with words and actions and fail to consider the consequences. And sometimes we do things just to see how bad they'll make us feel. And, regardless of the intent, the only thing that one can do is, well, to do better and hope for some understanding. And hope for the strength to change.